Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 11th, 2026 Covington City Council. I call this meeting to order. Krista, can you do the roll call, please?
Councilmember Soltis. I'm here. Councilmember Wagner. Councilmember Hartsock. Here. Councilmember Herjehausen. Present. Councilmember Reed. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Porter. Here. And Mayor Smith.
I am here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to excuse Councilmember Jeff Wagner?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse Jeff Wagner. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Up next, would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So now up to approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes, Reagan?
No change.
Okay,
So moved. Second.
moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, well, we're now up to public communication. If the council would like to join me in front of the dais, we have a proclamation on National Emergency Management Awareness Month.
I'm going to hand this over to you.
Good. You guys would like to come up? Oh, you guys to be in the middle here. All squeeze in. Yeah, down. Oh, that is sensitive. Wow. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. I have a proclamation here by the Covington City Council. Whereas emergencies and disasters can occur unexpectedly, posing significant threats to life, property, and the environment within the city of Covington. And whereas local emergency managers, local emergency managers across all sectors, community leaders, local governments, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency dedicate countless hours to developing preparedness, response, recovery, and mitigation programs to protect the lives and property of all persons living in the United States, U.S. territories, Washington State, and the city of Covington. And whereas emergency managers across the state of Washington are charged with establishing and maintaining the capabilities necessary to effectively direct, coordinate, and support emergency and disaster response and recovery efforts. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Covington, do hereby recognize August 2026 as National Emergency Management Awareness Month and encourage all citizens to join in the observance by seeking information on and supporting community emergency preparedness and recognizing the significant role the emergency managers and responders play in keeping our communities, state, and nation safe in this month of August and beyond. So thank you very much for all you do. I'm going to present this proclamation. Well, I'll let that go there. Thank you very much. And would you like to address the crowd? Okay.
Well, I will say thank you for recognizing Emergency Management Awareness Month. It's a important month for emergency management across the country, trying to make sure we get recognized for the work we do. And thank you for being a partner and collaborating with Puget Fire Emergency Management Team to make sure the community is more resilient and prepared for any potential disaster or emergency. That's all I have.
Okay, jump in for a picture. Teach it a little bit. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do. Good seeing you. You're thinking of me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what did I do? Okay, so up next, I'd like to get our 47th district lawmakers to come up. Moving fast in this agenda. Oh, yep. So we wanted to take the opportunity to thank Representative Chris Stearns, Deborah Enton, and Senator Claudia Kaufman for all the work and representation you provide for our communities. Without your tireless advocacy and basically advocating for our issues and needs, we wouldn't be where we are today. And we definitely see the benefit of your work down in Olympia because it's bringing resources and materials to Covington to help us make a better community. So we have a couple of gifts over here, and I'm just gonna, they're all the same. Major difference is the colors. So, but we appreciate basically, and there's a card in there, we appreciate your support in helping us secure funding for Covington's future aquatic and recreation center. So what we have in here are Covington Seahorse swim cap and 4 passes to the Covington Aquatic Center. So, and definitely your contributions are making, and I'll say it, a big splash in our community. So thank you very much. So thank you. You like to address the community?
I think you did that swimmingly. Couldn't help it. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry. I'd like to say thank you very much to the mayor and to the Covington City Council for all the work that you do. You as public servants certainly know and understand the commitment that it takes to continue to do the work. It's been a privilege to work with you and all your staff and all your consultants and even a lot of your community committees that you have. I met a lot of them throughout this last 2 years and have seen them at different events. And so it's wonderful to interact with them and their dedication to the city and to making things better. So I'm really happy to be part of this family. Thank you very much.
Yep.
You guys all have heard that corollary, the saying that a rising tide lifts all boats. There is a corollary to that on point with this theme. That is, a lowering tide reveals who's not wearing swim trunks. Yeah, that's my contribution for the day. No, I just wanted to echo the words of the senator that this is an amazing city, and it is a testament to how much people love to live here because of I think the way it's run, the way that it's kept safe, and it's just a real source of pride to be able to work for you guys and everyone in the city.
Thank you.
Maybe we should put the swim caps on for the photo.
There are swim caps?
Yes, swim caps, yeah.
Please, no.
Yeah. There you go, that works. Okay, you go ahead first. All right, one more here. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Once you read it, you can't get it, yeah. Exactly.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay. Is there Debbie? Anyone signed up there? No. Okay. Thank you. Okay, we are now. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. We're now up to the public comment portion, first public comment of our meeting. Speakers will state their name, organization, and whether they are a Covington resident. Comments are directed to City Council, not the audience or staff. Comments are to be related to city business. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to 4 minutes per speaker. For attendees participating by Zoom, click the raise hand button. For attendees participating by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand. Once the city grants you permission to speak, press unmute in Zoom or dial *6 to unmute by phone. Anyone in the council chambers want to address the council? Okay, seeing no one. Anyone online would like to address the council?
Sure.
Okay, I don't see any hands. So we will close this first public comment period. There will be a second opportunity at the end. Now up to approval of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. New business item number 1. Consider appointments to the Covington Economic Development Council. Jennifer.
I would like to, instead of doing that, put on a future agenda item discussion of actually going back. Or let's just say, trying to say this clearly, you guys off the cuff. Discuss the size of the Economic Council, given the very recent change in size, before we move forward with any nominations, given that we have 5 and 2 openings. I'm seeking a second.
Oh, I'll second.
Consensus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't motion, so it's just consensus.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
If I'm doing all this correctly.
so just to look to Regan. So we're looking to basically table this first business item to a future agenda. We also recognize we don't have another meeting this month. But at that time, we'd like to talk about expanding actually the number of members on the commission.
Would you like CEDAS's input on that? Because it was their recommendation to reduce the size. Okay.
Yes. Can
I
I
don't think it-
provide a
yeah.
comment to that?
Yeah.
So not tonight, as those were new, but in the 2 returning, we heard one that was like, oh, great, this is great. Now we can move forward with stuff. And then the second one was like, this isn't great. Why wouldn't we go solicit fresh perspective?
Yeah.
So we actually did hear counters.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment. We don't need to get into it too much just because
Right,
both the
right.
ones interviewed, they both brought it up about reducing the size. So, so yes, I can do this.
Okay.
It may not be until October that it comes back to you with when we get to see this next. And so we won't have a quorum for CEDAS because, so we won't be able to have a regular meeting. So we're in a bit of a squeeze. I might suggest that we appoint a couple if you're comfortable with that, and then we could bring it back for discussion, or I could just,
Initially, I would have said no, because then it feels,
like you're saying no to some.
Yeah.
but when do they meet?
We meet the 4th Thursdays. This August one is oftentimes canceled, but it, you know, I can try to call it still and do a meeting.
And we would like their input, yes, before we make any decisions. And I think whether we have 4, 5, 7, 2 slots available would help drive council's decision on whether we go with returning folks or fresh perspective. So
Yeah.
from my personal opinion, I would like to know how many spots we really have.
We what?
How many
that
we're
we
gonna
really
expand.
have, and if it's
Before making a decision on the
Yeah.
2.
with 5
Yeah.
current.
Yeah.
If it's with 2, and that's fine, that would change my personal selection.
Yeah, so I think that's what we did. We reduced it by 2 from the city side and 2 from the chamber side. Is what it was. So what I should bring to CEDAS is do you want to go back up to 5 from each organization? Is that what we're
Let me get
looking at doing?
You had a question or comment, Debbie?
I wanted to ask, is there,
Then I'll get to you.
if we decided to table appointing the next 1 or 2 individuals, couldn't we do that sooner? Could we do that at the first September meeting?
Of appointing 2,
Mhm.
you can do that tonight.
Well, but to add more seats. You said
Oh,
we
to
would
add
be able
more
to add it to
seats.
the agenda until October.
Only because, oh, sorry. Yes, well, no, it would be October because CDIS may not meet again until the 4th Thursday in September.
Okay, and you wanted to talk to, you wanted
Talk to
to,
them.
okay.
If you want feedback for them, I'm pretty confident what their feedback's going to be. Because they've enjoyed the size that it is, including the ones that you interviewed, so I'm really curious about those comments
Mhm.
that you got. CDIS has formed a couple of subcommittees that include 1 or 2 CDIS members and then non-CDIS members. And that was kind of the whole intent, is to reduce the size of the commission and then call on the talents of others in the community that we need for different subcommittee work. So that's one thing that's happening, but I'm more than happy to bring it back. It's just the logistics of it are a little tricky right now. So.
Beth.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't the city appointee side that was having issues filling the 5 seats. It was more on the other side. And I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it
just
wasn't
making this
necessarily an issue of filling the seats. We've typically had a fairly full commission for the most part.
Engaged.
It's engagement.
Yeah, the ones that show up.
And so the point was to reduce it down to a number that has consistently been engaged. And so that was what CDIS proposed to the council to do. So we do have a lot of, this is unusual. Obviously, as you know, in the 11 years I've here, we haven't had this many CDIS applicants. Justin did a good job recruiting all the people who he leases space to. And so that's what happened. I don't see this happening each time we need to fill seats, but it did happen this time, which is a great thing. So.
I have a general question. if I may
Yeah,
ask.
go ahead.
On engagement with commissions in general, I can't remember, is there a standard that we hold our commissioners to of attendance rate?
Not really. It's no, there has been some extreme circumstances where they just never, after they've been appointed, they've never shown up, they don't communicate, and
I've
so we've
witnessed that.
removed them.
Yep.
That's pretty extreme situation, but other than that, once they're appointed, they fill their term and some attend, some don't. I'd say with CDIS, it's not really an attendance issue.
Yeah.
It's an
It was
engagement.
more just a thought on
Yeah.
all commissions, just coming from the perspective of serving on one. Maybe having a loose, format for that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a 70% attendance rate, something that's manageable, but also has like numbers involved with it to where our commissioners know what we're expecting. Life happens to everyone, but for me, when I worked on a commission, the hardest part were the serial non-attendees, where they would show up every other meeting or every 3 meetings. And we didn't really have much we could do without someone being the bad guy,
Yeah.
essentially.
I think just before getting into a topic
It's a
that's
bigger
not on the
conversation.
agenda,
Yeah.
that's something we can bring up, and maybe it mirrors the council policy, right? You need, if your absences are excused, that's okay. If they're unexcused, there can be some issues with that,
Accountability.
so yeah.
Regan, Mayor, do you mind if I jump in for 1 second?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And Regan raised a good point right there about what we're currently talking about on the agenda, because we currently have a motion that has been made and seconded to table appointing any of the potential candidates.
Yeah.
And so if we can keep the discussion to that and vote on it or withdraw it or take action, that would be the easiest way to make things smooth for the minutes and for the public and transparency.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the motion to table new business item number 1 to a future meeting?
Can I ask one more
Yeah,
question?
sure.
We went from how many CETUS? Just so this is. on
Yeah, so
record.
there were
Went
10
from-
CETUS members, 5 from the city, 5 appointed by the chamber. We reduced it to 3 appointed from each, so 6 total.
Okay, I'm wondering if CETUS would like to find the
We-
middle ground with 4. But we won't know until.
Yeah, and part of the point too was to make it roughly the same size as all the other commissions, which is 7. Right?
Yeah.
And so CETUS was at 10. We thought, well, we can get more done and reduce, have it more in line with the other commissions.
Do you know what's on the next agenda?
I don't, when's our joint, actually, we have a joint meeting, I think, next month with CETUS, so that might be,
Oh,
if council would
Yeah.
like to discuss it then,
That'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
we could do that.
Okay.
So we could table for tonight,
Yeah.
discuss that on that, so I'll add that to. What, is it the first or second? So first meeting in September is our joint meeting with CETUS.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Yeah, we'll only have 4.
Yeah.
There because we have empty seats right now, but.
Was my question. Are we gonna have people show up? Because if we don't have a seat, if we have to, I'm completely in agreement with like tabling it, but at the same time,
4 gives us a quorum, so as long as we get all 4 of them there, we should be okay.
I have
I think we should-
another question. I'm so sorry.
Hold on.
Aren't some of these applicants reapplicants, or do I have that wrong?
2 of them are, oh, that's
Is
true.
there an interim month we can have them continue ask them if they can continue their term? I don't know.
we have to change the policy.
Oh, man. Okay.
Christine?
why don't we just vote 2 in?
Well, we have a motion that we gotta vote.
So
Yeah.
just to
Then vote.
clarify, even with the 2 incumbents that you interviewed, they won't be filling a seat, so will not be invited to that joint meeting, but that would, even without them, we'd still have 4 active seats open. So as long as we get all 4 of them there, we'll have a
A
quorum.
quorum.
Okay.
But no one can miss.
Yeah.
Beth?
Tricky.
I guess speaking against the motion of holding off, I think maybe voting 2 people in and then readdressing it later might be a good decision, but I agree that I feel like we should have CETUS's input, but also understanding that. I mean, I think I would vote differently if it's just 2 people. Well, and I would vote differently, assuming that it's only 2 that would be filled. And then that means.
You know.
Any other discussion for or against on the
Elected to
motion?
make hard decisions.
So motion on the table is to table new business item number 1 and discuss at the next, the September first meeting in September.
The joint meeting with
Okay.
CETUS.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So 3. Oh, I'm sorry, all those opposed?
I'm
Aye.
opposed.
Nay.
I'm
Nay.
So the
Nay.
motion
between.
fails. Okay,
Did you get?
Oh, boy.
I was an I.
yeah, so was 3.
I was a
Three.
second and a nay.
So 3,
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
3.
What were you,
So-
Christina?
She was,
I'm undecided.
did you vote?
I
Oh,
think we need to get 2 appointed today.
okay.
No.
All right, so
It's
does the council wish to take action on new business item number 1?
I wish to appoint Amanda Blackwood to CETUS position,
It's just a position.
a
I
position. on
second
CETUS
that.
With a term expiring July 31st, 2028.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Amanda Blackwood to a position on the Covington Economic Development Council with the term ending, what's that?
July 31st, 2028.
Term ending July 31st, 2028. Beth, let's speak to your.
Yeah, I was really impressed with her, her experience, her professionalism, the way she carries it. She's done work like this before in her other town where she was from, Oklahoma City. Appreciate her desire to listen to needs of neighbors. And something that speaks to me, and I know a lot of people that I have heard, is that some cities grow too fast. You want all of the things, but you have to figure out how to make it pace with infrastructure and with her background, I think she might be able to also encourage ways for us to get other businesses here that our residents have been asking for. And I think the one thing she said, it's easy to have grandiose ideas, but how would CEDAS assist council on policies that can actually be implemented? And so I think her perspective is holistic on both sides of the
Okay.
issues.
Jennifer.
Yeah, Amanda is, again, everything that Beth mentioned. What stuck out to me about Amanda is the willingness and perspective of talking to businesses and understanding what businesses, some obstructions they might face, or filling gaps in services that our community may want that we don't have. And the willingness to evaluate different opportunities to meet our needs. And I do think that is something that doesn't, at least in my opinion, doesn't get in front of us. What is it about Covington? Why don't we have all these cute little local shops and restaurants? I was just in Wenatchee this weekend. Their downtown is fabulous. And why don't we have that? I want to know so we can do something about it. And I would love for CDISC to tell us that. And I think Amanda would. So that's why I'm nominating her into one of the two coveted positions.
Anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? Okay. Been moved and seconded to appoint Amanda Blackwood to fill a position on the Covington Economic Development Council with the term expiring July 31st, 2028. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The council wish to take further action.
Yes, I
Christine.
would like to reappoint, or I don't have it in front of me, appoint Kaylin Pravatsky to fill a position on the Covington Economic Development Council with the term expiring July 31st, 2028.
There's a second.
I would second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded to appoint Kaylin Pravatsky to fill a position on the Covington Economic Development Council with the term expiring July 31st, 2028. Christina, let's speak to your motion.
Yeah, we had a wonderful conversation. Kaylin has been here for quite some time and has made some really substantial ideas and investments in CEDAS and everything that we've seen happening in Covington. And I think his continued service would be invaluable, and CEDAS could really use him in his great experience and positive attitude.
Beth, would you like to speak to your second?
I like the fact that he has the experience. He's been on CEDAS, I think, what did he say, 11 years, and has seen the city grow and change, what works, what doesn't. And I think he made some reference here about making sure that we're all rowing the boat in the same direction. So trying to figure out what we can do and accomplish. I know he's been a great liaison. I mean, everybody that's been on CEDAS has too, so that's not to detract from anyone else that's already served, but I think it would be a great opportunity to keep that experience on the CEDAS.
Anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? Oh,
I would like to speak against the motion, and I would prefer that we entertain people with fresh perspective rather than folks that have been there a long time. I personally would choose Justin because he brings that, but also brings a very clear He wants more transparency with council. I appreciated the candid feedback. I appreciate his initiative in bringing all these folks in. And again, if there's only gonna be two and I'm forced into that hole, I'm gonna pick people that are gonna bring change. No offense, but they're slow and now have to do subcommittees and forced us to shrink. That's why would we continue to put the same people on there?
Anyone? Yeah. Right.
Just a question on how things work. How does the pace work at this point? Do we have to vote on the first candidate before moving on to the candidate that she brought up? Yeah.
No idea.
Of course, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Any other? Okay,
I want them all.
okay.
Right.
So it's been moved and seconded to appoint Kaylin Pravatsky to fill a position on the Covington Economic Development Council with a term expiring July 31st, 2028. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Christina, did you vote?
We
I
need a
said
voice
aye.
vote?
You said aye, okay. So that would be what,
Mayor, just for the record, would you
Yeah.
please do a roll call vote?
okay. Jennifer, how did you vote?
Nay.
Debbie, how'd you vote?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Beth, how did you vote?
Aye.
Riley, how'd you vote?
Nay.
Okay, Christina
Aye.
voted aye and I voted aye. Okay. All right.
Mayor, can I just
Yeah.
clarify? Council does still want though on the agenda of the joint session to discuss the.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
think-
please.
I think all of us would be happy with that.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Okay. Up to new business item number 2, consider appointments to the Covington Youth Council. Does the council wish to take action?
I do.
Okay, Riley?
I would like to motion to appoint Christina Tamang for position number 11 on the Youth Council with a term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school.
All right, is there a second?
Second?
Been moved and seconded to appoint Christina Tamang to fill position number 11 on the Youth Council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. Riley, speak to your motion.
Thank you. I loved Christina's sentiment about third places for the youth. It's the direction that council and others in our community have also pointed us in. And I'm hopeful that she has new ideas and a new perspective for this commission. I love that she tries to promote diversity and leads and actually teaches others in her age group above and below her knowledge. And I think that's very inspiring. And I would love to see her excel on the youth council.
Thank you. Debbie, speak to your second.
Thank you. I think her wisdom is way beyond her age. And I also was very impressed at how she likes to draw in different cultures, different ethnic groups and teach the teacher. So she is a teacher, but she's also teaching others to teach. She believes that, and I think we heard this, that she has the ability to hear the youth voices out and then share their ideas. I think that she would be a great addition to the team.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to be before against? Yes, Beth.
I had to call out because I thought it was so on point. And again, speaking to her wisdom, despite her years, she said that when she talked about how the city council and the council would interact, she said that youth would give the ideas and city council would give a reality check.
Yeah.
Like, what can we do and what can't we do? I mean, just kind of being that, knowing that we can't get everything and how do we get at least something moving? Oh, that was pretty. Yeah.
Anybody else who should be before again? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to appoint Christina Tamang to fill position number 11 on the Youth Council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, council wish to take further action.
I do.
Okay, Brown. Good.
Sorry to take the spot.
Mhm.
Where's my script? So I move to appoint Ava Ngeji,
Ganji.
Genji.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
that's right.
Ava Ganji, to fill position number 12 on the youth council with a term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school.
Second that?
Okay. Been moved and seconded to appoint Ava Ganji to fill position 12 on the youth council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. Riley, I'd like to speak to your motion.
Yes. When asked about her skills and qualities, Ava mentioned collaboration, communication, and teamwork. I feel she has a very level head, and just wants to learn and build meaningful activities for the youth is what she said. I love her idea of creating a marketplace for teens to promote their own skills. When I was in college, I started a small business as part of education, and being in the front driver's seat of that, it empowers you in so many ways you don't know. So having the idea of creating a platform for youth to do that, no other word I can think of than just so cool that she's thinking in that way. So I would love to hear her perspective and her voice, and her amplify the voices of others, as she put in her interview.
Thank you. Christina. I'll speak to you a
Yes.
second.
Sure. Yeah, Ava is clearly very involved already. And I like that she didn't just say activities for teens. I like that she said meaningful activities for teens. There's always so much room for that. And I will just second that. The business marketplace for youth, that's
Cool idea.
that's pretty progressive, and I'm very much behind that, and I love it. It's one thing that I think our youth doesn't get enough of. Maybe they'll have a fair here and there, but it's these life skills that are detrimental beyond high school that we can capitalize on right here. So yeah, I love how involved she is and how much responsibility she feels for the youth connecting and having stronger youth individuals. And she kept saying, she kept reiterating that she wants youth voices heard, and then just to be a representative. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for or against? Okay. Been moved and seconded to appoint Ava Ganji to fill position number 12 on the youth council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Does council wish to take further action? Yes.
We don't
Sure.
have an agenda packet, but I would like
Okay.
to nominate Hanan Youssef
Mhm.
for
Position number 13.
position number 13 with the term expiring at the end of their senior year until they graduate.
Yeah.
Sure.
Starting immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, well, I will give it to Debbie.
Sure.
It's been moved and seconded to appoint Hanan Youssef to fill position number 13 on the youth council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation. Jennifer.
The thing, and I was even thinking about it when we were talking about CDISC, the most important function of the youth council is participation. And it's truer words have never been spoken in any group dynamic. So that right there, like nails it on the head. So she will be a engaged, participating member of the youth council if my motion is approved. The consistent theme throughout her responses was her passion for helping, the underprivileged, those with less access to food, shelter, events in the area. So I know that she will bring a great perspective to our youth council.
Thank you. Debbie. Speak to your second.
Well, I agree. I wrote one word on number 5. What do you see as the most important function participating?
Same.
Yeah, so that was loud and clear. I think her compassion and care about other citizens was just immense. She has started a nonprofit. She's raised $4,000. She listed a lot of places that she volunteers at, and they're all great nonprofits to be helping. So I think that will bleed over into the work that she does with the council, is helping others find that empathy, to see others through maybe a different lens.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak for or against the motion? Okay, been moved and seconded to appoint Hanan Youssef to fill position number 13 on the youth council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Does council wish to take further action?
Yep.
What's that? Yeah, Jennifer.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to nominate Aiden Save, to
Yeah.
position number
So
14,
wait, yeah,
which, expires upon, their graduation.
yeah,
from high
begins
school.
immediately, and expires upon graduation from high school.
Thank
Okay,
you.
is there a second?
Second,
Or Debbie first. It's been moved and seconded to appoint Aiden Save to fill position number 14 on the youth council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. Jennifer, let's speak to your
Yes,
motion.
Aiden has a lot of experience in clubs and whatnot at high school, and really is passionate about bringing awareness that volunteering can be fun,
Yeah.
and that fulfillment in serving others is fun, and he is happy to be that example and just spread the love of service. And wow,
Yeah,
I was blown away. He will be amazing.
Debbie, we'll speak to your second.
I had previously met Aiden volunteering at the storehouse and working alongside of him. I said, the city of Covington has a youth council. You should apply for that. He said, oh, I already did.
Yeah.
So he was right on top of that. One thing he said that I really liked was when we were talking about how he would be an ambassador for the city of Covington, he said he would encourage through example. And I think that's probably key to what he does, because he is involved in a lot of volunteering and a lot of public service groups. So, yep. That's it.
Okay. Anybody else wish to speak for or against? I saw Christina first.
Yeah, go ahead.
A few, but go ahead.
Yeah, and it's just one more addition to what we've been saying already, but his perspective was that I didn't know it could be fun. I thought
Yeah.
it wouldn't be great
Mhm.
until I did it for
Mhm.
the first time.
Mhm.
And so he's like, we just need to get our youth to do it once so they can see that it actually can be fulfilling, because it is fulfilling. So I really like that aspect of it. So thank you.
Beth.
In the answer to question 5, like what do you see is the most important function of the youth council? What he was describing, he was saying bringing ideas of younger residents to the city, but what he was up to me describing was that the youth need to feel empowered because they feel like decisions just go on around them without their input. And, we all hear that, and we know that, will happen. It can happen to people in wherever they're at, but just to have that, again, that insight. And I think that will also be an advocate for him to go, there are ways to get involved, and you can make a difference even if you're underage. Excellent.
Anybody else? Okay. It's been moved and seconded to appoint Aiden Sove to fill position number 14 on the youth council with the term beginning immediately and expiring upon graduation from high school. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Well, congratulations to everyone. So that brings us up to new business item number 2, 2026 second quarter financial reports. Casey.
Thank you, Mayor Council. Let me get it up here. First, I'll start by mentioning that there's a little bit of a different format. It'll look somewhat similar, but our software that we were previously using is being discontinued and phased out. So we switched it over to a new software and I think it looks beautiful. That's just my opinion. So, but by all means, if there's other things that you see on here that are missing or a little bit different, or you would like to see in the future, please let me know, because this is kind of a work in progress and I'll continue to tweak it as I move forward. So feel free to share. So for property taxes, through second quarter, the city has received just almost 1.8 million in property tax revenue. It's representing a 3.1% increase compared to second quarter collections in 2025. And our assessed value this year is 4.9 million.
Billion.
Or billion, excuse me. And currently our levy rate is just a little over 70 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. And I've put a few different graphs in here. These kind of came up working with Ethan on the MPD vote, some of these questions that kind of popped up that people were asking. So I thought this might be some good information for folks just to see how much of our property taxes the city actually gets and kind of what our rate is compared to other jurisdictions that get our levy rate as well. So this is a little bit of information. City of Covington currently receives 7.3% of the total overall levy. And you can see on the left-hand side, the little graph out of the $9.60, that is our total levy for our residents, only 70 cents per $1,000 of assessed value comes to us. For the real estate excise taxes, they're coming extremely strong this year. Through second quarter, we've collected a little over $865,000. We're already at 107.4% of our budget. Their collections are 55% higher than last year, so coming in really, really strong. There's been 24 new home sales, 131 existing home sales, 2 commercial property sales, and 2 building sales. And we've actually heard that there's also going to be a sale coming that should post this month from Lake Point, where the commercial is switching hands to a developer. Dawn had mentioned that to me, and that should see a nice rate bump for us as well, because it's being done as a purchase and sale agreement. So that's amazing. The average sale price for existing homes was $691,000, with the average new home sale was a little over $971,000. And just to compare that to 2025, our existing home sales are actually down about 3.5% from the same time last year, and our new home sales are down 2.7% from last year. The prices, not sales, but like the price of homes. Should say that. Got some new photos in here, courtesy of our new communications person, Tara. So that's exciting. We have businesses that are still in business that I have pictures of now, and not old ones that are super old. So for retail sales and use taxes, through second quarter, our unrestricted sales tax collections were a little over 3.1 million. We're right at 50.7% of our $6.2 million annual budget. Our collections are almost $200,000 higher than the same point last year, or 6.3%. Compared to second quarter of 2025, our retail has increased 4.3%. Construction is up 32.4%. Food services is down 11.2%, and all other categories are up 11.3%. And that little chart that's next to the property tax pie chart that I've done that shows the breakdown, I'll add into this retail sales one per Ethan's recommendation. And just as a side note, of the total sales tax that the city receives, 14% of that 9.3% comes to the city. The majority of it, 6.5 out of the 9.3 goes to the state, and the remainder goes to the county. For utility taxes, through second quarter, utility tax collections totaled almost 1.9 million, representing 58.4% of our annual budget. It's 15.1% higher than the same period last year. And I did just want to point out a couple of categories that we're continuing to see kind of a trend down. Both cable and telephone are lower than the same period last year. And then the swim one, It looks like it's a big jump from 25 to 26, and it really was just timing of collections. So you'll see that smooth out probably the next quarter. For our business and occupation taxes, again, I'm still, this is fairly new, so I don't have a lot of information to report yet. But what we have collected on a cash basis is a little over 1.3 million, representing 66.9% of our budget. When I say cash basis, what I mean is there's still collections that were accrued back to 2025 that are in this balance, just to kind of keep us at a rolling balance, so we kind of have an idea of what we will be. We anticipate probably ending close to our 2.6 million that we ended up bringing in 2025. So we will definitely probably exceed this budget of 2 million that we have. You can kind of see it. Obviously, our retail is our biggest portion of our B&O taxes. And then I will mention that collections are going relatively smoothly. The businesses are all, for the most part, complying. We have begun assessments for a couple of businesses that continue not to pay. We've just recently sent out some assessment letters to them. So the city gets sales tax information from Department of Revenue, so we know what all the businesses report for retail sales. So we have those numbers, so we're able to assess the tax to them because we have it. We have the information. But it's been relatively minor. There's only 3 that we're assessing. Interfund loans, there's no change from last quarter. All the same balances are still the same for the same projects. For the general fund, through second quarter, operating revenues are at 12.9 million, and it's representing 62.4% of our annual budget. It's an increase of 2.9 million over last year. Part of that is, again, the business occupation tax revenue that's coming in year over year, just a comparison. Total expenditures, excluding transfers out, are at 8.6 million. Just a little bit of an increase over the same time period last year. And then I'll just point out just one department, City Council, you can see is at 73.6% of budget. Again, the rest of the departments we're hoping to see 50% or under this time of year. And the reason for that is just some one-time expenditures that come up, like the skip construction money that we distributed in second quarter. So that was a large portion of your guys' budget. So it's going to take another quarter before you guys look like you're on par with everybody else. So for Public Works, for the street fund, operating revenues total 1.4 million. They're right at 50.4% of their annual budget. We are seeing our Comcast franchise fees trend down just a little bit. Those are also tied to gross revenue, kind of the same way as the utility taxes are. So we're seeing those come down. We're also seeing the franchise fees come down a little bit. The motor vehicle fuel excise tax, we're also seeing that trend down a little bit. MRSC just updated their revised estimate for both 26 and 27 and reduced those estimates for the next 2 years, probably mostly due to the rising gas prices and people are trying to save as they can. But and then the motor vehicle license fees only had $158. Those are almost tapered off. Those are our TBD license fees. And we should expect to see those completely phase out. For our total operating expenditures, excluding transfers out, we were at about a little over 1.1 million or 47.9% of the budget. So under budget where we would expect to see them this time of year. For transfers, there was no transfers in for from the general fund to the street fund, and they were able to transfer out a little over $288,000 into the capital improvement program overlay funds of this TBD sales tax. For the swim funds, through second quarter revenues totaled 2.5 million, representing 49.3% of our budget. So those are, just as a reminder, the drainage utility fees that are on the property tax statements for folks. And so we kind of see those run the same trend as the property tax collections. For operating expenditures, excluding transfers out, we're at 27.7% of the annual budget. And that's really just due to a couple of capital projects that haven't taken off so far this year. So we should anticipate seeing those increase in the next quarters. For development services, through second quarter, total revenues were at 1.8 million, representing 59.5% of the annual budget. Revenues are 23.5% higher than the same period last year. We've issued 31 single-family residential permits compared to 52 the same time period last year. And across all permit categories, we issued 231 permits compared to 182. But what I did want to mention is the total number of permits, the 231, include 7 multifamily dwellings. It's been a while since I've seen some multifamily dwellings on there. And what's great about those is the valuations are generally very high, which sometimes the permits are based off of in part. Those 7 multifamily units were valued at over $22 million. So that's nice. So for total operating expenditures, again, we're at about 2.1 million, representing 48.6% of the annual budget. Expenditures are a little bit higher than they were the same time period last year. For aquatics, recreation, and cultural arts, through second quarter, aquatics generated almost $575,000 in operating revenue, and they're over their budget estimates at 52.6%. And recreation and cultural arts generated almost $270,000, and they are also 53.6% of their annual budget. So again, they're over their budget estimates for the year. For operating expenditures, aquatics are under at 41.9, and recreation and cultural arts are also under at 41.2. And then you'll notice I don't have the splash count in here. So if that's something you'll miss, let me know and I will add it back. But splash counts did increase by a little over 2,000 from the same time period in 2025, or 4.4%. Right.
Have we seen, I know this is a certain level of detail you may not have the time for, because there's so many different things you're looking at. But with the teen nights, has there been a consistent influx of people attending those? I know the first one had a really great turnout. Do you know anything regarding that?
I don't.
Or maybe Regan does.
It wouldn't necessarily influence these numbers substantially,
Yeah.
but there's been consistently between 20 and 50 people there each time.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So for cash and investments, our cash and investments total a little over $52.9 million, an increase of $6.6 million compared to 2025. The largest increases incurred in the general fund and the capital improvement program fund. A good chunk of the increase was, we've seen a lot of park impact fees come in. Ethan's balance is looking pretty good. I'll go over that in the next one. And for the local government investment pool, or LGIP, we're earning a rate of almost 3.7% for June. And we have $41 million invested in LGIP. And then for investments outside of the LGIP, we have $11.9 million invested. And we're still currently outpacing the LGIP interest rate. My investments are getting about 4%, so still outpacing a little bit. So I'm happy.
Nice.
For the capital improvement program funds, through the first quarter, the city received a little over almost $336,000 in traffic mitigation fees. And like I mentioned, we received a lot of park impact fees, $822,000 in park impact fees. We received $117,000 in park levy fees, some grant revenue, $63,000, and then transfers in from other funds. A lot of those transfers in, a good chunk of those were for the maintenance facility. And so speaking of the maintenance facility, the chart below that shows the revenues and expenditures, I'm going to start to phase out some of those projects, and you'll see some new ones pop in, like the maintenance facility that's having some activity now. For our bonds, really no changes from last quarter. Our next debt service payment is due in November, and then we'll have one more next year, and those will be complete. For the street impact fees, our balance is 1.9 million. I will mention that most of that is earmarked for current CIP projects. There's about $200,000 that's currently unallocated in street impact fees. For our park impact fees, our current balance is 1.9 million. Again, some of those are already earmarked for current CIP projects, but we have about 1.1 million that's unallocated. So still a nice balance there. And that is all I have, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Casey. That was That was great. Well, any questions for Casey? Yeah. Right.
I have just a small question regarding this page, actually, the public art. I know that we have revenue on that first line, but I don't see expenditures. And my understanding was the Karma Collective project, the expenditure would come out of the art fund. Is that just, did it come out in an earlier quarter, or have we not paid for them
It
yet?
probably just means the transfer hasn't been done yet.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I understood where the funding was coming
Yeah.
from,
Yeah,
just in case.
it'll be paid out of the general fund, so we'll do a transfer from the CIP fund to the general fund.
Okay.
For it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
That is all the new business. So we're now to future agenda items. Our next normally scheduled city council meeting on August 25th has been canceled. So the next meeting will be September 8th. We have a joint meeting with CEDAS that evening. Couple of items on or one new business item. Is there anything else the council would like to see on an upcoming agenda?
I think
Yeah, go ahead, Beth.
we talked about that earlier, but I guess that's gonna have to be at the second September meeting, right? If we're going to change the policy on the status.
It will be on the agenda to discuss at the joint meeting,
Okay.
and then it could be brought back to council.
Sure.
Even that same night, it can be discussed.
Great.
Oh, so we can add it as an agenda item on September 8th. Yes, okay.
Okay. Now to council staff comments. Adam.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing from me tonight.
Okay. I'll go to Dawn, then Ethan. Dawn.
Just Casey kind of mentioned the maintenance shop, and so it's exciting to see that if you haven't been by there, that they've went vertical, and so we're starting to we got the columns and beams and things like that going. So exciting to see that. So if you haven't run by there and see the progress, nothing else.
Thank you. Ethan.
Nothing from me tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Casey.
I was just gonna mention that the first portion of the audit is almost complete. They're just wrapping up the financial statement audit. Everything looks great so far. And we'll be scheduling the exit conference on that within probably the next couple of weeks. And then they're gonna take a little bit of a break, come back in maybe about a month or so and start the accountability audit. So I'll keep you posted.
Thank you. Regan. Or sorry, Selena. No,
Hi, Mayor and Council. Nothing for me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you. Regan.
Well, if there's a couple sad faces, it's because of the ballot measure.
Yeah.
Someone had to bring it up.
Yeah.
But
Elephant.
not for lack of effort. So thank you for everyone who put the effort in. We never know how these things are gonna go, and we haven't had a ton of success in Covington with ballot measures, but I think this is a step forward. I think we need to look at it that way. Oftentimes ballot measures take several tries or attempts to get there. But anyway, it was at the very least a way to educate the city on what the plans are. Another thing I wanted to mention to council, I think I shared this a while ago, but we used to do annually a Bring Your Child to Work Day. Once COVID started, we stopped that and haven't done it yet, but we're doing it again, actually Thursday. So if you'd like to bring your child, another child, as long as you have permission.
Somebody else's.
Not the child.
You're more than welcome to join us if you are able. It's Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. Should be a lot of fun. I think we have 20 something children that will be joining us. So yeah, should be yeah. And if you are, let us know. And so we can get things ready for it. So.
Thank you. Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. There's an executive session tonight for potential real estate acquisition under RCW 4230-110 sub 1 sub little b. And I have no additional comment. Thank you and have a great summer.
How long do you think that'll be? Is it?
I'd suggest 20 minutes.
Okay. Krista.
Nothing for me tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Christina.
Yeah, I opened up my calendar to put that in, and tomorrow apparently is the last day of summer. I don't know
No, it's in September.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, just kidding. Anyhow, movie night this Friday. I don't know who I'm doing it with, but I think somebody else signed up,
Me.
but serious? Okay.
Yes.
Very awesome. I'm really excited. It's been a minute since we've been back there, volunteering, so I'm looking forward to that. Do we know what movie it is? Doesn't matter. It's gonna be a good movie. So I'm looking forward to that. National Night Out was wonderful. I only got to participate the first part of the night, but it went really well. And thank you to everyone who was there. And what an excellent meeting tonight.
Yeah.
We do hard things. I tell that to my boys all the time. We do hard things.
Yes.
Really?
I loved National Night Out. It was actually my first time attending a National Night Out, believe it or not. I had no idea how big National Night Out is. I got a free snow cone. It was awesome. I went to 5 different locations. I learned a lot, connected with community members I never would have if I didn't go to the event. I also got some interesting feedback from one of the communities that lives almost directly across from Covington Community Park. They had their outing on 244th Street, and they were all talking about how they didn't have a crosswalk to get to the park. They would have to backtrack quite a bit of ways to get to a crosswalk. And there's no sidewalk for them to walk to as well. I'm thinking of kids, young kids. There was a lot of them in that neighborhood, people with disabilities and the extra challenges that poses. So it's something that I want to look into.
I think it's in
deeper.
our tip.
It is in our tip.
Yeah.
It's in our tip, correct? Dawn?
It has to be, because this isn't the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
I know we heard it last
Dawn, are you
year.
there?
I'm trying to get there. So actually the crossing on 180th at 244th, that's actually the grant funds that we had, that project that went out to bid. So we're actually putting that in later on this year.
Great.
Okay.
I'm gonna look like their hero because I said I would do what I could.
Perfect. Yeah, you did it.
So fast. Wow, look at me go, you guys. And then the other feedback point they had for their neighborhood was parking. And actually a woman came up to me with 2 parking tickets in hand. She said, I will pay these. I just want to learn how I can park in my neighborhood and not get these again. So I didn't have a good answer for her, and more conversation needs to be had on my part to learn what can be done. But overall, I got amazing feedback. I was able to connect with the community, and that snow cone hit the spot because I wore too thick of a clothing for a hot day. I also attended Kids Fest. The booth was being manned by some young workers, and I was able to have deep conversation with them about the importance of working within their community and their pride for living within Covington. It was really awesome to talk to them. And then I just took it upon myself to say hi to every booth that I could, give them resources if I could, and talk about, there was one Taekwondo spot that isn't in our pamphlet that goes out every summer. So I just, I gave them my information and said if they wanted to be more involved to let me know. And it was another really well-attended event. So those are my updates, and I'll be with Christina on Friday at the movie night. Thanks.
Perfect. Beth.
Yeah, boy, I just have to say, I'm in awe of all the work, especially during the summer from our Parks and Rec folks. I know that it was a little bit challenging this year with one of the leaders out for a while, and they bring it. I know they're tired, but they bring it with smiles, and all of the assortment of activities and events that we've had over the summer, and we're not done yet. So just a big shout out to the team there. The National Night Out, of course, is always fun. The America 250 event, I thought was fantastic. I mean, and there were definitely 2 sessions. There was the music, the concert, and then there was the movie, and you could see the wide variety of ages of like family unit makeups. And so I think we really hit the nail on the head with that one. I will say it was a little bit challenging. And I know Debbie and I worked a booth that night and then the week before when we're working city booths, it's really hard to do it during a concert because you can't really hear very well. And into that end, it's very celebratory, so it's great, but we might, if we ever do anything like that again, rethink maybe how we play that out. But anyway, and I think I'll be gone for a few weeks in August, so I'm looking forward to the drive-in movie theaters and handing out popcorn in September. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Debbie.
National Night Out was as fun as always. Unfortunately, Lake Winterwood canceled theirs, so that was a big disappointment. I think what I got the most, it's not all about me, but I got a lot out of I'll make that right up front. The seniors at Covington Place. So we spent a fair amount of time. I actually stayed till the very last one left and got some real good input from her, but it was stuff that I was able to take back to the storehouse and improve what we're putting in. The seniors that have home delivery boxes, they're getting stuff that they can't use and nobody ever told us. So they're getting like 5-pound bags of rice and they don't cook anymore. So I said, well, what would you guys like? And so they all gathered around and got a list, and we implemented that last Thursday. So they're now getting the things that they really care about. There wasn't anything else in the other neighborhoods that I went to. Well, let me say I ran into, just as I was leaving at Maple Hills, a lot of discussion about 204, when's it going to open? And then a lot of discussion around, why did Maple Valley widen their 5-lane highway to include a bike lane that's even wider than a car lane with a fancy bridge? Has anybody driven into?
I would assume, I drive that all the time.
Yeah.
I would assume, this is me digging for this answer in my head as I'm driving, that must be a safe walking route grant. That is an assumption because we all thought the road was getting expanded.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Usually,
It's not.
usually those aren't big enough grants to do that kind of work, but
Oh, it's not a road expansion. It is a very wide path
There was an incident
that we all
in
thought
Maple
was
Valley.
going to be road
A
expansion.
community member that I know through personal circumstances was hit on a bike and killed. So
On that road.
I believe it was that road. So I assume that that's why that was put there, but I could be mistaken about the detail around that. But I think it's a dangerous place to bike.
Tacoma High.
That's
Yeah.
what I heard.
Not a
Yeah.
safe route.
Yeah. Well, the only explanation I had, because I hadn't seen it or heard about it, was that's a state road, and the expansion of it is managed by WashDOT. But that perhaps Maple Valley, the city of Maple Valley, may have had some funding to pour into that, but that we were moving forward with the segment that we have. Chief didn't mention that he's got coffee with the cop on Thursday. Are you going to bring
Wednesday.
Wyatt?
Wednesday.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Coffee.
it is tomorrow. You're
Yeah.
right. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
9:30 a.m.
Gary.
Vineyard Park, you're right. 9:30 tomorrow morning, Vineyard Park. And at the same, I've never gone to that because I'm not a morning person, but I got an invitation from Marnie there to come and speak about the storehouse. She said that the residents want to be part of the community, but they can't really get out and do much. So they thought about maybe having a bin for a food drive. And so she wanted me to talk about maybe what kind of items they should provide. And I said, you know what? I just had a thought. I know that Chief Easterbrook has coffee with the cop there once a month. What if, and that coincides with the date I'm going to speak. I said, what if instead of them just giving things that the storehouse can use, that we have them donate the items that we are packaging up and giving to the police officers and Darren as they go out, run into someone that's in a crisis and needs food. And they're going to be, it's like a 3-way partnership. So we've got Vineyard Park, the storehouse, and the police department all working together to give those community members a sense of belonging and being helpful. Yes. So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow and see how it goes. The skateboard did not meet in July, so I don't have anything to report. And the crime statistics are really encouraging. So thank you. And no wonder that the people are coming up with their parking tickets because you're now enforcing that.
Exactly.
Now we have time.
We love you.
Yeah.
The neighbors love you. That the
People getting them.
people getting the infractions probably
I'd say
don't.
some people don't like it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But we're going to be speaking to the Lake Winterwood HOA annual meeting coming up next month. And one thing they always want to hear about is our crime stats. So it's going to be exciting to talk about that one. That's it.
Yeah, go ahead, Beth. I'll get Jim. Go ahead.
I forgot to mention something and I had Regan send out an email to you all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I was all excited about all the events and happening. And so I know we all received an email from the Mountain Pact and they're asking for support to sign onto a letter to help protect and stop the rollback on protections of some of our public lands, including Bears Ears and the Grand Staircase Escalante, national monuments, I guess. Administration is looking at potentially rolling back 90% of the protections. And so I was going to sign on as just my role for me, but I'm more than happy to sign on for the whole council. That was an option in that, but I wanted to get consensus if other folks either were going to do it on their own, fine, or if people wanted me to sign on as a representative of our city. I mean, I don't know.
I went and looked at there actually wasn't any city entire councils that signed on at all. It was all individuals. I think we should keep that going, if that's okay.
I'm just offering it.
Yeah.
My only thought on it was then we're signing on to a letter that is not impacting Covington. I understand that it's got an impact to our country and to the country's residents, but I feel like that's getting out. I mean, for me personally, I feel like it's getting out of my lane.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I wanted to ask.
So each of us is free to sign.
Let's do our own.
In our own capacity.
That's fine. Okay.
And it's more impactful that way because then there's 4 lines and 5 lines or 6 lines.
Not 7?
Yeah, not 7. Currently not, but that's
Okay.
Be 7.
Is that it?
yeah. Well, yeah, that was it. Sorry.
So Youth Council did a great job recruiting new folks. I mean, that was evident. A lot of the youth we interviewed, I want to say kids. I apologize in advance to any youth when I say kids. I just say kids because they are like kids to me. But the outgoing youth council did a really great job of ensuring that youth council will have seats filled, and I continue to be impressed. National Night Out went great. Lots of positive feedback from people in the community. The only negative I got was a comment about the MPD. And it was interesting because it's something I complained about as well a couple of years ago, and it was maintenance at CCP. And I thought, there you go. What do I say? I'm like, yeah, I complained about it too. That our stewardship of our parks does not give them assurance that their funds will be used properly. So I wanted you all to hear it because the way our parks look now, definitely better. And that's what I was telling her. I'm like, CCP is so much better. And she goes, it's better, but it's not the way it was. And she is correct. So it's a lesson, hopefully, that we learn from, that we are vigilant in ensuring that our parks are maintained in a way that highlights all of the work and years of work that went into just getting them in place. Because if we let them fall apart, people see that and they're like, why keep building these things you're not taking care of? So I wanted to share that. I know it's not great to hear, but important to hear. And tomorrow I have Ryan and I, and we're gonna take a field trip. We do those like once or twice a year. They're my favorite because we actually go get to see what restoration efforts are going on. So we're gonna go see Miller Creek Trail and what's been done with a hatchery there that they pull in. They actually bring in community to help like take care of some of the experiments and fish that are coming in there. So I can't wait to hear about it. I'll share with you guys because I love all that fun nature stuff. We are very disconnected in a lot of ways from, dollars and where they go and the direct impact they have on our environment just because of our roles on council. But it's our little way into that. So I like to share. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, just a couple things. We didn't have an RFA meeting last week. Next one will be a week from tomorrow. I too attended the concert and movie in the park. It was a lot of fun. Really thought the people were engaged with the songs that were covered. I thought it was really well done. That band actually was going right after that to the Muckleshoot to do another like 3.5 hour show. I was pretty impressed with their stamina. So, and like to Beth's point of, there was quite a bit of turnover from the concert, but I was impressed with how many people actually stayed for both. So, and then we saw kind of a new crowd come in too. So we're doing great on those events at CCP. So well done. Like everyone else, I had a good time at National Night Out. I sent my kind of impressions to Regan. I guess, maybe if you're getting others, consolidate those, or if there's any themes to be pulled out of those, it'd be good for us to hear. So, but for the most part, I think people are pleased with what the city's doing. I did get, it was interesting, some feedback on the MPD as well. One person, which was interesting, they're like, why aren't we spreading out the cost like we did with our transportation benefit district? So I explained it's a little different taxing model, but I did think that was interesting that part of the reason that TBD was so successful is that we were able to basically say everyone that uses our parks is going to pay. And so just,
I don't know if it was so successful. I mean, it took us 3 times though.
But
I mean,
changing
what
the
you're saying,
messaging.
but yeah.
I think they trusted us to remove the car tab.
Yeah. Yesterday there was a ribbon cutting at Forest T, which is right over by in the same place as Panda Express. They had samples of their teas, and the one I got with strawberry was really, really good. So encourage you to check them out. They're excited to make a mark in the community. And I get the impression they want to become involved in more of a, kind of like other businesses, but even I get the impression they might even be interested in some of our commissions too. So anyway, sound like a great neighbor. I attended the South Sound Mayor's meeting today. Maple Valley hosted, and it was very kind of a free-flowing conversation. We did talk, I guess Renton's been having some issues related to public comment. And so we all kind of talked about how we each deal with public comment, how much time they give. One thing that I thought was interesting, if they have more than, I think it was Renton or maybe even Tequila, if they have more than 6 people signed up, it automatically goes to a minute less on each comment. Because if there's 30 people, that could stretch into hours, and it's part of their policy. So it's not seen as, you're changing the rules at the last minute. Not that we've had that problem, but there's some interesting ways they're dealing with these things to make it seem more fair, but also keep it so that the evening isn't totally, it's not all public comment. So I think for them, there's a couple issues, Flock being one of them, that both Auburn now and Renton have seen some expanded public comment over that. So anyway, I can send my thoughts on that. And then we also had a free-flowing conversation about SCAs. They're starting to pull together their legislative agenda for 2027. And as you can imagine, things like housing and transportation But for Pacific, it's flooding is the big issue for them, and so they're trying to get the attention of King County and the state to make improvements on the Green River, because they've had some significant flooding this last year. And then SeaTac, which I thought was interesting, has kind of the flip to what's going on at the expansion of the airport. They want to make sure that the airport can accommodate the new visitors, but that it doesn't come at the expense of SeaTac. So it was just interesting to hear their perspective on what is being proposed, and they'd like to have more communication and coordination with cities in South King County. So that we're not working in cross purposes to what they're concerned about. So I thought that made sense. And then tomorrow we have a legislative tour of Founders Park with our lawmakers, but also representatives from the Washington Wildlife Recreation Commission, or is it Fund? Cold.
Recreation and Conservation Office, and then
Office.
also the Washington Wildlife and Recreation Coalition.
Yeah. So we're gonna basically tour that park and talk about the funding we've received from it, how effective it is, and how it helps us, purchase new property and expand our park system. So that's tomorrow. I think that's everything. So
Mayor, before you go in, I wanted to mention a couple things.
yeah,
I did say at the joint meeting, we could discuss with CEDAS, and then council can make a decision at the later meeting. That would mean we would have to come prepared with an amended resolution and quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
So if council's okay, we'd like to have that discussion first to see if it's a decision you want to make, and then bring it back at a future council meeting.
possibly the next one.
Yeah, it would be the next
Is that all
one.
right with
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Because at least we won't have
We've already
two
appointed
vacancies at
people,
that point,
so,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay.
Another thing, Ethan had suggested 20 minutes. You may want to narrow the executive session down to 15, then we can add to it if you want.
That
But
makes sense.
then we don't have to wait out here
Yeah.
for it.
Okay. Well, we're now up to the second public comment period. Speakers will state their name, organization, and whether they are a Covington resident. Comments are directed to City Council, not the audience or staff. Comments are to be related to city business. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to 4 minutes per speaker. For attendees participating by Zoom, click the raise hand button. For attendees participating by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand. Once the city grants permission to speak, press unmute in Zoom or dial *6 to unmute by phone. I don't see anyone in the council chambers. Is there anyone online who would like to address the council? See no one raise their hand. Okay, I'll close this second public comment period. We do have an executive session to discuss a real estate acquisition, RCW 442.30.11 subsection 1 subsection B. We will discuss for 15 minutes, so that'll be back at 8:45 or extend, at which time we will take no further action. We are in recess for executive session. All right.
My paper clips.
Recording. Okay, we are back from executive session. Council will not be taking any further action, and this meeting is adjourned at 8:45.